Welcome to Scripted by Machines, the series where digital creativity meets the cinematic universe. Today, we delve into the Tournament of Enigma, Horror Clash, a thrilling confrontation between icons of terror from the shadowy corners of horror lore. Join us as we explore not just a battle, but a showdown of wits, wills, and supernatural powers. Who will outsmart, outlast, and outspook the other? Stay tuned as we set the stage for an epic encounter that promises to chill your spine and thrill your senses. In tonight's clash, we spotlight two formidable foes. First, meet Lubin, the cunning and malevolent leprechaun, known across the realms for his deadly tricks and relentless pursuit of his stolen gold. With magical prowess that bends the laws of reality, Lubin is not just a mere fairy tale but a nightmare come to life. Facing him is the Beast, a figure of sheer primal horror, born from the darkest corners of the human psyche. With superhuman strength and an unyielding will, the Beast embodies the ultimate survival instinct, terrorizing all who cross his path. His formidable presence challenges the very essence of what we fear most. Who will emerge victorious? Who will claim the power that lies within? Stay with us, as mysteries unravel in this abandoned warehouse, the battleground of our Tournament of Enigma, Horror Clash. As the night cloaks the sky, the abandoned warehouse stands silent, a monolith in the desolate landscape. First to arrive is Lubin, his eyes gleaming with a malevolent spark. Guided by whispers of fate, he seeks a lost piece of his enchanted gold, rumored to be concealed within these crumbling walls. With every step, his resolve deepens. Tonight, he will reclaim what is his, or wreak havoc trying. Moments later, the air thickens with a palpable tension as the Beast makes his entrance. Misled by deceptive whispers, crafted by unseen puppeteers, he believes a prey worth his fury lies waiting in the shadows of this forsaken place. With each growl, the echo fills the void, a chilling reminder of the monstrous power he wields. As Lubin and the Beast step into the cold embrace of the warehouse, their senses sharpen, each aware of the other's presence, yet uncertain of what the darkness holds. It is here, in this arena of forgotten echoes, that the stage is set for a confrontation that will be etched in the annals of the Tournament of Enigma. As the distant rumble of thunder rolls overhead, the two adversaries finally come face to face amidst the eerie silence of the warehouse. The air crackles with a palpable tension, each moment thick with anticipation.
Oh, what have we here? A creature of brute force and little wit. Did you stumble in here thinking you could match wits with a leprechaun? Or did your animal instincts merely lead you astray?
Words hang in the cold air, heavy with threat and mockery. Lubin, with a smirk, twirls a coin between his fingers, a taunt made manifest. Meanwhile, the Beast's eyes narrow, his muscles tense, ready to unleash fury. As the echoes of their voices fade, only the sounds of their breathing remain, a prelude to the chaos that is about to unfold. As the standoff intensifies, the first move is made. Lubin, with a flick of his wrist, conjures a series of bewildering illusions. Shadows twist and turn, morphing into fearsome creatures that dart around the warehouse, their forms both mesmerizing and menacing. The air is filled with whispers and laughter, echoes of Lubin's deceptive magic designed to unsettle and confuse. Unfazed by the spectral display, the Beast roars in defiance, his voice reverberating off the stark warehouse walls. With ferocious determination, he charges, muscles bulging, eyes focused. Obstacles that materialize in his path, a cascade of crates, a sudden wall of iron, crumble under his sheer force. Each barrier met with overwhelming power, as he seeks to close the distance between himself and the elusive leprechaun. The clash is a spectacle of chaos and strategy. Lubin, agile and cunning, uses the warehouse to his advantage, shifting positions with a magician's flair, always 2 steps ahead. Meanwhile, the Beast, embodying unstoppable force, shatters through Lubin's traps and tricks, a testament to his raw strength and relentless pursuit. As debris flies and spells weave through the air, the warehouse becomes a labyrinth of moving shadows and explosive encounters. Each moment, each maneuver, brings them closer to a critical confrontation, their very essences clashing in this tumultuous arena. The crescendo of their epic battle draws near as Lubin, with a twinkle of mischief and a deep understanding of the stakes, prepares his masterstroke. In the midst of chaos, he subtly places a shimmering piece of his gold, the very gold he had been tracking, in a visible yet vulnerable spot. It glistens provocatively, a tempting lure set against the dim light filtering through the broken warehouse windows. The beast, consumed by rage and the instinctual drive to conquer, notices the gleam of the treacherous bait. With a guttural snarl, he lunges towards the gold, his thoughts blinded by fury and the desire to destroy everything in his path. But as his hands grasp the glistening prize, the trap springs, an arcane snare of ancient magic, woven by Lubin's deft hands. As the beast is momentarily bound by the ethereal chains that surge from the ensnared gold, Lubin seizes the opportunity. With a swift incantation, he conjures a powerful spell, the air around him crackling with the raw energy of the old magic. The beast roars in defiance, struggling against his bonds, but the spell is relentless and precise. With a final flourish, Lubin completes the incantation, and a surge of energy envelopes the beast, lifting him off the ground and rendering him immobile. As the spell's force subsides, the beast collapses, subdued but alive, the battle decisively ended. As he lies there, the fierce visage of the beast fades, giving way to one of his other personalities. Now vulnerable and disoriented, he finds himself sobbing on the cold warehouse floor, a stark contrast to the ferocity he had just displayed. Lubin, standing amidst the remnants of their fierce duel, begins retrieving his gold with a satisfied nod. The warehouse, once a scene of tumultuous conflict, now bears witness to his cunning and mastery. Lubin's victory is not just a testament to his power but to his strategic brilliance. Carefully, he gathers his scattered gold, each piece a symbol of his victory, and tucks them back into his coat. His sharp eyes scan the quiet aftermath, a small, knowing smile playing at the corners of his mouth.
They always forget, in the tales of old and the whispers of the night, that it isn't just the strength of the arm that wins the day, but the sharpness of the mind. Remember, my dear friends, never bet against the leprechaun.
With a final glance at the subdued form of the beast, Lubin tips his hat in a mock salute and turns towards the exit. His silhouette merges with the shadows, almost as if he were never there, leaving behind only the legend of what transpired this eerie night. As we conclude tonight's episode of Tournament of Enigma, Horror Clash, we celebrate not just a battle of power, but a chess game of intellect and strategy, masterfully played by Lubin, our champion of cunning. But why did the AI choose Lubin as the victor? In our Tournament of Enigma, the clash between Lubin and the beast was not left solely to fate. Through advanced simulations, 10,000 to be exact, AI technology meticulously calculated the outcomes based on a complex array of variables and factors, providing us with a profound insight into the potential dynamics of their encounter. The final verdict. Lubin emerges victorious 51.44% of the time. His win is attributed not just to chance but to a superior blend of strategic thinking, effective use of magical abilities, and the clever management of resources. Our simulations took into account Lubin's adeptness at manipulating his environment, his capacity for setting traps, and his cunning use of illusions, all of which allowed him to gain the upper hand in more than half of the scenarios. The beast, while victorious in 22.03% of the encounters, showcased his formidable strength and raw power. However, these attributes, though impressive, often led him into predictably aggressive tactics, which Lubin exploited. The simulations highlighted how the beast's approach, while powerful, could be anticipated and countered by Lubin's more versatile strategies. Furthermore, a significant number of encounters, 26.53%, resulted in a draw, underscoring the intense competitiveness and balance of power between these two adversaries. This statistic alone illustrates the fierce contention and the fine line between triumph and stalemate in their battles. By integrating these factors, Lubin's strategic prowess, the beast's brute strength, and the environmental dynamics, the AI determined that Lubin's intellectual approach and tactical adaptability most often tipped the scales in his favor, granting him a higher probability of securing victory in the haunted confines of our virtual warehouse battleground. In the intricate dance of simulations that dictated the outcomes of our Tournament of Enigma, a variety of probabilities and variables were meticulously calculated. Let's delve into the mechanics behind the 10,000 simulations that brought us these riveting results. First, the fundamental characteristics of our combatants were quantified. For Lubin, the probability centered around his magical abilities and cunning tactics. We assigned a high probability to his effective use of magic, including illusions and environmental manipulation, reflecting his strategic acumen. Additionally, Lubin's capacity to set traps and deceive the beast played a crucial role, with specific probabilities assigned to each of his tactics being successful against the brute force of his opponent. For the beast, the simulation focused on his superhuman strength and aggression. The probabilities here reflected his ability to overpower obstacles and continue the pursuit, despite magical interference. His physical resilience and raw power were quantified to assess how often they would effectively counteract Lubin's schemes. Environmental factors were also crucial. The warehouse setting provided a backdrop that could advantage either character depending on the scenario. Probabilities were adjusted based on the likelihood of each fighter using the environment to their benefit, whether Lubin using shadows and cover for his tricks, or the Beast utilizing debris and structural elements as weapons. Moreover, dynamic variables such as fatigue, psychological effects, and strategic decision-making were incorporated. Each round of the simulation considered the potential impact of these factors, adjusting the combatant's effectiveness accordingly. For example, Lubin's magical energy and the Beast's stamina were modeled to deplete over time, influencing their tactical choices and capabilities. By weaving these probabilities and variables into our simulations, we created a sophisticated model that not only forecasted the outcomes but also captured the nuanced interplay of strategy, power, and environment that defines the clashes in our Tournament of Enigma. As we draw the curtains on tonight's electrifying encounter in the Tournament of Enigma, Horror Clash, we thank you, our viewers, for joining us on this thrilling journey. Your enthusiasm and curiosity fuel our adventures into the realms of horror and mystery. We are excited to announce that soon we will be launching a new series based on battles recommended by you, our audience. So, don't hold back, let us know in the comments which mythical or horror icons you'd like to see go head-to-head. Your suggestion might just be the next epic showdown we simulate here on Scripted by Machines. Stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep those notifications on to never miss an episode of viewer-inspired clashes. Thank you once again for watching Scripted by Machines. Until next time, keep wondering, keep watching, and may your nights be thrillingly spooky.